This guy's kind of an idiot because he's saying that we painted that because to protect it. That was the excuse, but realistically, I wanted it Lucifer White Star white. I wanted everything all nice and white because we spent like $50,000 or almost $1 million painting the rocket, and so I wanted everything because we're going to be filming it. So I wanted everything all nice and white, and all nice and looking good like Lucifer White Star white. So it was like $1 million or like $300,000 worth of paint or something like that, plus labor to actually paint the rocket. And because this was like history in the making and was going to be filmed, so we set everything up and like they weren't going to paint it because somebody wanted to steal the paint money because the paint money was like $1 million for the paint, or it's like $700,000 for the paint or something like that, or some amount of money. It was like just the landing struts. I mean, the lockdown struts. I think was like or $30,000 worth of paint or something like that because they're really big. I mean, size is actually really deceptive because the thing is like huge, and this guy is like, well, they painted it with this stuff so it would try not to destroy it too much. And it's like, we painted it because I wanted it to be white. And so my people kind of laughed and was like, all right, we'll paint it. Because they weren't going to paint it because they're like, why? It's just going to burn off. I was like, but this is history. I was like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. You know, it's like, I don't even care if they burn away. I want them to be nice. So they did it even though they knew the paint would just burn off. So they painted them white. So it's Lucifer White Star. White. And so, and then you get to see the paint burning off. Besides, you get these epic shots of basically watching the paint burn off, and you actually get to see. And actually, in the end, they said the finished result, and when they went to go look at the film, they were like, it was worth it. It was a lot of money for the paint, but you know. So yeah, and that's all the white paint just burning off because it was brand new, fresh paint. Because they painted it all nice and white to get all the dirt and everything off. So. And like I say, the shot, because it's also a high resolution film, so. And so look at that. Look, it's just so beautiful. They look like little marshmallows roasting. There goes $30,000 worth of paint, or $150,000 worth of paint. Because those things are like 5 or 6 stories tall, or 10 stories tall, or something. But yep, all the paint just burns right off. But you get this epic shot of everything going. And that's all the water. I think we actually have sprayers. We're actually spraying water up here to actually cool it off, to protect the concrete. We probably should have sprayed those things too. I think they were supposed to be sprayers to hose them down, but anyway, yeah. And then they're all nice and black. But still, it's an epic shot. And look, those things, those other pillars are actually glowing from the heat. Look at that. The metal on those things, that's actually molten red hot from the heat, just from the engines. Like, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I get all into my little science projects because I just blew. That was me, Lucifer White Star, Namer of America, blowing $5 or $6 billion of my own personal money, pretty much. Well, American people also blowing the money, but mostly it's also me blowing all this money to send that rocket ship up. It's like, yes. So, and you get these epic shots of all this.
Steam coming off. It's not.
Steam. Like I said, actually that's water and other stuff that's being blasted. We're blasting the water up there to try and cool off everything and keep it cool, actually. And the steam is coming off because like I said, if those things are glowing red hot, then you know what that concrete would have done. So we're actually spraying water all over the place. There's like, you can see the little water jets right there, and there's water jet right over there, and water jet over there, and water jet. It's water jets all around. Germany actually designed the platform. I don't think this actually happened in 1960. I think this actually happened in like 1940 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, and maybe not even in America. This might be the Russian launch site, because Russia had a launch site like this or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but basically, I mean, Nixon and JFK, they rearranged everything, so everything got all confusing. So it's hard to say what or when this actually happened. Because, Anyway, though. But yeah, I spent all the money, top dollar, Kodak cameras, all that stuff. Well, before it was Kodak, it was this other company. So, And all these other people just kind of like, they posted all this stuff in 1960, lying about all kinds of stuff and rearranging the dates and times of everything because JFK was trying to make it look like, we were doing it currently or something, and everybody else was like, "What are you talking about? That was like 50 years before or 30 years before, like end in Russia or something like that." Like Nixon was trying to do all this stuff, but this actually probably didn't even happen in 1960 or 1950. So they were posting all this stuff saying that it's going on right now. This is going on right now, and it actually happened like years and years before. And they were trying to say this is our cameras live from on the scene, and they're actually just playing the old film from like 30 years before. So Nixon totally fooled all the American people and all the people of the government, and they was just stealing money like crazy. I see. There's the water droplets starting to spray up in there. I think we had firefighters that would pop up and actually start spraying down all the stuff as much as possible because it was like smoking hot. So, and we didn't actually. I think no, that's for the glass. That's right. We had a sprayer for the glass. Anyway, yeah, the German. This is all German designed, German engineers. Which, like I say, later on. What nobody knows is that later on they killed the Germans. Any Germans that worked on the project or any Germans that took part in that thing, they shot them right after. As soon as, like literally, the moment the rocket ship, as soon as that rocket ship launched, simultaneously with the launch, 4 guys or 6 guys walked into the room and started and just basically started popping off all the Germans just. They hit the control center simultaneously with like just after that rocket ship launched. Nixon's men, the USF people or someone walked into the control room that was handling the launch because there was a launch and an in-flight mission control room or something like that. There's 2 different rooms. So the launch was being handled locally, and then once they were up in orbit, it was going to be handled by another room. So what Nixon's guys did is basically because I was launch control. Launch control was at the site. So as soon as launch control handed it off to the other control room, that's when Nixon's guys walked in, and just after they went click, transferring you over, click, and we're good, click. And as soon as they hung up the phone, they cut the lines and they walked in and went and they just shot all the German scientists. There's like 30 German scientists that died simultaneously when that ship launched. Because they had done the job and they had the control. As soon as they knew it would work, and as soon as they had the launch pad, and as soon as they had the rocket and all the information, they shot everyone. That was German. And they all died. They might have kept 2 or 3 around just to torture and abuse, basically. But basically, Nixon and JFK had already planned the whole thing where they were going to say America had done everything and that no one else had taken a part in it. And they tried to say that the Germans nor anyone had anything to do with the rockets at all, and that it was all America, because they had a lot of money that they were trying to steal and trying to cover up for. So they killed all the Germans, and they killed all the people that launched that rocket ship. They all died right after that rocket ship launched. And you can ask around and you can find out, but you'll find out basically that all those people in that control room at that site died right after that ship. As soon as they had handed it off to the other control room, they cut the line and they walked in and they shot every single one of them. It was a bloodbath. Everyone in the room died. I think. I'm pretty sure. Because they knew, and it was covered up. So, USF and Richard Nixon and John McCain and all of them, they're the worst, most horrible people known to history. Next to the black Africans. Oh well, things you don't know about Apollo 11. Because it was really my money, and they were trying to say that, it was their money and their America and they're this and they're that. And they were going to change the name of America anyway.